Hey, grade 5, are you ready to do our English reading today? Let's grab our books and begin. Today is Friday, the 13th of March in 2020. And we're doing reading. The City Beneath the City, Episode 3, page 104. We'll begin with vocabulary, moving on to reading, and then our questions. Are you ready? Let's go. Vocabulary. Now, for the first little bit of vocabulary, we're going to learn the infinitive form and then the past tense of it. So let's look at strike. Strike. When you strike something, it's to hit someone or something hard. And that is in the present tense. And then after you have stricken something, when we look at it in the past tense, it will be you have struck it. So maybe I'm going to strike the desk. And then, before, as you heard, I had struck it. How about this lady? Are you going to throw a ball and strike the teacher? Uh-oh, you struck her. That's not good. Let's try a new one. But first, let's say it together. Strike. Strike. Struck. Struck. Great! Let's strike up a new one. Cha-cha choke. Choke. Uh-oh. Now we have choked. And the ED sound here sounds like a T. So we say choke and add the T sound. T. Choked. Choked. When you choke on something, or if you choke, it is when you feel difficulty to breathe or because something is blocking your throat. Maybe you ate too much pizza or a bubble tea too quickly and now you're choking. So in the present, it is to choke. And if you did it before, you had choked on something. Be careful, very dangerous. We might choke on some dust. Dust. Do you know what dust is? That's right. Dust is dry dirt in the form of a powder that covers surfaces or are very small, dry pieces of soil, sand, or other substances. Maybe if you hit your pillow or something in the school, you'll see granules of dust or a type of powder flying through the air. Now we have tear. Tear. In the present and in the past is torn. Torn. To tear something is to pull it apart or be pulled apart. And if you've already pulled it apart, now you have torn it. So, if you pull on your sleeve of your shirt too quickly, you might tear it. And if you've already done it, you have torn it in the past. Let's wash away something now. Wash away. Wash away. And then once we're done washing, it has become washed away. This is another one where the ED sound at the end of the past participle is pronounced like a T. Washed. Washed away. To wash away means to remove or carry something away. Let's think about the rain. The leaves on the pavement are washed away by the rain. Have you ever seen that on the street or by your house? Wash it away. Light up. Light up. It's getting a little dark in here. Maybe we should light it up. And once you turn the light on, it has become lit up. Lit up. To light up means to make something bright or shiny. Doesn't have to be light. Maybe if you have a big smile, you're lighting the room up. How about the moonlight here? What's happening to the environment? Well, the moon lights it up. And maybe you're talking about yesterday, such a big moon. You can say the moon lit up the trees or the sky with its bright, shiny glow. A beam. Beam. A beam is a long, thick piece of wood, metal, that can be used to support weight in a building or other structure. Let's look here. In this building, we can see this wooden beam that stretches across. This is what holds the roof up or the next floor. There's probably some beams in your house, but you can't see it through the ceiling. Rubble. Rubble. Rubble is broken wood, stones, bricks, etc., meaning other things, that are left when a building falls down or is destroyed. Let's look here. Look at all the rubble in the picture. We can see big pieces of brick and small stones and dust. All of this debris is called rubble. Lasso. Lasso. A lasso is a rope formed into a ring, circle, at one end that can be tightened by pulling the other end. Let's think about a cowboy wrangling up some cows. This here is a lasso. So the cowboy can swing it into a circle shape and throw it to catch a bull, and then pulls it tightly and will close the loop of the lasso, creating a leash. And next we have a noose. Noose. The noose is one end of that rope of the lasso tied to form a circle that can be tightened. This is almost like the knot, is the locking mechanism. So this can be tightened around something. Maybe you've seen some cowboys using a lasso and a noose to collect some cows or some sheep. Incredible! Wow. Something that is incredible could be impossible or very difficult to believe. Wow! That's incredible! Are you ready for some incredible reading? Let's begin. Grab your student book, page 104. Let's go. Let's first look at this picture. Remember some of the things we just learned? Do you know what this wooden piece in the building is called? Or how about the rope that's tied around something? Let's do some reading and find out. Together, Melanie and Josh heard the sound of earth falling to the ground. Then the roof made a terrible cracking sound. They threw themselves against a wall just in time. A shower of stones and earth fell down with a crash at the top of the fire. A stone struck Josh's shoulder, and he cried out in surprise, "Ah!" Clouds of dust filled the air, and the cousins choked and coughed. Dust was everywhere, in their hair, their clothes, and in their eyes. Let's read and choose the correct answer. Melanie and Josh threw themselves against the wall because why? Be careful, was it raining? Or stones and earth fell down? Very dangerous. That's right, they threw themselves against the wall because the roof was falling down. Stones and earth might hurt them. Josh's shoulder hurt because stone struck his shoulder or he fell down. Oh! That's right. Josh's shoulder was in pain because a stone had struck his shoulder. Let's continue reading. Then the chamber was still again. The heavy rain was now falling freely through the opening. Are you okay? Asked Melanie. Josh examined his shirt. The stone had torn a hole in it. His skin was cut, but not badly. It's a good thing it didn't hit my head, Josh said with a smile. You should clean that cut, said Melanie. You're right. Let's go take a shower. And let's not forget to underline or highlight our new vocabulary words in the reading. Let's try some more. They stood in the rain and washed away the dirt and dust from their head, hair, and faces. Josh washed his cut. Then they cupped their hands and drank the clean rain water. They had been so thirsty. Up above, they could see the outline of the hole in the roof. After a while, the rain stopped, and silvery light shone through the hole. Don't forget to underline your vocab. It was moonlight! The fantastic wall paintings sprang into life. Let's circle the correct answer. Number 1. They decided to stand under the falling rain because they were hot, or they wanted to wash it away and get clean. Excellent. They did. They wanted to get clean. Number 2, they drank the rainwater because they were thirsty, or they were tired. Aha! They were thirsty. Time to get some clean water. Continuing. The moonlight lit up something else too. There was a large wooden beam sticking out above the hole. Did you see a rope in that metal box? Asked Melanie. Josh nodded. If you get it for me, I'll make a lasso. What? Like a cowboy? He asked. Like a cowgirl, said Melanie, correcting him. Remember to underline your words, and now let's fill in the gaps. There was a large sticking out above the hole. Ah, a wooden beam. You're quick. Great work. How about 2? After the rain stopped, what shone through the hole? The silvery light. You're right. Fill in the answers and we'll check it later. Josh climbed over the rubble to the metal box and brought back the rope. Melanie made a noose at one end and looked up at the beam. She tested the weight of the rope in her hands and swung the rope gently and then threw it up into the air. It went up, and the noose caught the beam on her first try. Let's fill in the gaps. Number 1. Josh climbed over the what to the metal box? The rubble. Be sure to underline that in the reading. After climbing the rubble over to the metal box, grabbing the rope, Melanie made a what at one end of the and looked up at the beam. Fantastic, a noose. Melanie made a noose and threw it over the beam. Wow, said Josh, amazed. That was incredible. Years of practice, said Melanie. Now let's see if we can climb out of here. Melanie quickly climbed up the rope. She loved climbing. Then Josh climbed up the rope too. He wasn't good at climbing, and his shoulder hurt, but he made it to the top. Melanie took his hand and helped him climb out of the hole. Remember to underline incredible! They had made it. Read and choose the correct answer. Who's better at climbing, Josh or Melanie? You're right, it was Melanie. Great work. Remember to mark your answers. And did Josh try to climb to the top? No. His shoulder hurt so much and he fell down. Oh, yes, he did. He tried and he made it to the top. That's right. Even though he was in pain, he tried his hardest and made it out of that hole. Now let's do some questions. Read and answer the questions in your student book from page 104. Let's read them together. Number 1, why did Melanie and Josh throw themselves against the wall? What made them choke and cough? Why was it important for Josh to wash his shoulder? What did they see in the moonlight? Why did Melanie ask for the rope in the box? And why do you think Melanie climbed up the rope first? Let's try a couple together, and then you have the rest for homework. Number 1, why did Melanie and Josh throw themselves against the wall? Because the roof fell down. Earth and stones would have hurt them badly if they didn't jump out of the way. And what had made them choke and cough? Clouds of dust filled the air. When something falls from the ground, the dust gets stirred up and makes you cough. Now you get to do the rest on your own. And let's read and circle the correct options from page 97 together. Number 1, Melanie and Josh threw themselves against the wall because it was raining or stones and earth fell down. That's right. The stones and earth fell down towards their heads. Be careful. And number 2, Josh's shoulder hurt because he fell down. Or a stone struck his shoulder. Ow! That's right. A stone hit him in the shoulder. Melanie and Josh were choking and coughing because there was a fire. Or the air was filled with dust. That's right. The air was so covered with dust they couldn't breathe. Number 4, they decided to stand under the falling rain because they were so hot. Or they wanted to clean themselves off of the dust. You're right. They wanted to get clean. How about they drank the rainwater because they were thirsty, or they were tired? They were thirsty. They needed clean rainwater for A. And last, they could see the moonlight because the rain stopped, or the moonlight because it was still raining heavily. That's correct. The rain had stopped, so they could see the moonlight, and it lit up all of the room. Now for your homework, finish the exercises in your student book, page 104, and your practice book, page 97. Remember to review all of your work, do your homework, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Let's go!